Good morning, students. Welcome back. In the last period, in the last video lecture that we had before 20th of June, we have seen this second chapter's exercise. Ninth question we have seen of this exercise. So let us continue from there. As we have resumed, let us continue from the next question, that is 10th question. This question we have discussed already in the last video lecture. If you go back to that video, you can get this question discussed there. So next question is, see, the question seems a little bit longer. An equal length of magnesium ribbon is taken in the test tube. Equal length of magnesium ribbons are taken in the test tube A and B, and then hydrochloric acid is added to the test tube A, while acetic acid is which is present in the vinegar. Acetic acid that is present in the vinegar now is added to test tube B. Amount and the concentration taken for both the acids are same. In which test tube there will be fizzing occur more rigorously and why? Now let us understand the question first, because see, we need to understand, to solve this question we need to understand that actually what is the reason that they have given these two types of acids to us. That is, one is HCl and the other is CH3COOH. HCl is strong acid. The main point that I'm going to tell you here is the HCl is strong acid. Strong acid in the sense it's a mineral acid which is producing more hydrogen ions. When HCl dissociates, it gives more HCl, H plus and Cl minus ions. So as H plus ions are more, so it is considered as a strong acid. It is considered as a strong acid. But on the other hand, if you see this CH3COOH, when it dissociates, see this acetic acid, that is CH3COOH, when it dissociates partially. Means when it is dissolved in the water, H plus ions are less as compared to the CH3CO minus ions. That is, these are the acetate ions. Acetate ions, and these H plus ions are less here. So as these H plus ions are less, this acid is considered as a weak acid. But in case of HCl, the hydrochloric acid, when it was dissociated in the water, H plus ions were more, but now in this case they are less, and hence this acetic acid which is present in the vinegar is considered as the weak acid. Now when these both acids are added to this or the magnesium ribbon of the same length, magnesium ribbon of same length, suppose these are the two magnesium ribbons having same lengths are added to these two acids. Equal lengths magnesium ribbons are added into these two acid samples A and B, and then it's a reaction between the acids and metals. So the acids, that when acid reacts with acids plus, we have seen the properties of acids. Acids plus metal, it forms salt plus hydrogen gas. So this gas, hydrogen gas, will be released in the form of fizzing, fizzing form, or it will be fizzed, so that the bubbles of this gas will be seen, and that's why it is called as fizzing. You can see here it is said that the amount of concentration taken for the both the acids are same if the amount and concentration, if 5 ml of both the acids are taken, this acid is also taken 5 ml, HCl is also taken as 5 ml. So 5 ml of these acids are taken, even concentration मतलब strength, suppose this is having CH3COH mixed in 100 ml में 100 ml पानी के अंदर, वाटर के अंदर, suppose we have added 5 ml CH3COH, and here also 100 ml water, 5 ml acetic acid. So if this means that both the concentrations are same, both of the acids having same strength, here also 5 ml, here also 5 ml in the given quantity water, that is 100 ml water में दोनों का 5 ml ऐड किया. इसका मतलब ये है कि both of these acids have a same strength. So the question is that in which test tube will the fizzing occur more vigorously and why? Fizzing means the sound of bubbles will be occurred in the test tubes, but comparatively in this test tube the sound of these bubbles will be less or more. Reason is that the sound will depend on the amount of bubbles formed in these test tubes. Okay, so amount of bubbles will be more if the gas produced is more. Amount of bubbles will be more if suppose this is a test tube A and this is a test tube B. Here I am having a HCl and have added Mg, magnesium ribbon. Here is the CH3COOH, and here also I have added Mg. Now see, here HCl was there, more H plus ions were there. How? More H plus ions. H plus ions are more, and here H plus ions were less here. Now if it is more here, more hydrogens will be replaced by magnesium. When magnesium is added, magnesium replaces the hydrogen from the acid and hydrogen gas is released. So if H plus ions are more in the HCl, then more gas will be produced. But on the other hand, here in the acetic acid, H plus ions are less as it is weak acid, so the bubbles will be less because less gas is evaporated or less gas is produced, less hydrogens ions are released, and hence less number of bubbles or less amount of bubbles will be there. So fizzing will be more if more gas is there, fizzing will be less if less gas is there. So what do you think, where the fizzing will be more? In case of strong acid, that is HCl. And reason, in case of strong acid, hydrogen ions are more and hence more gas will be produced. In case of acetic acid, hydrogen ions are less, hence less gas will be produced. So fizzing will occur more or vigorous in case of HCl. Why का reason है strength. Okay, depends on the strength. So this is the explanation of this question. Okay, so you can see the solution that HCl is a strong acid whereas acetic acid is the weak acid. The fizzing occurs because of the production of the hydrogen gas obtained due to the reaction of the acid in the magnesium ribbon. Since HCl is very strong acid, there is a lot of liberation of hydrogen gas from the test tube A. Therefore, fizzing takes place more in the test tube A. Okay, so this is the answer of this question. Next question you can see here, question number 11 on exercise. Fresh milk has pH 6. How do you think the pH change will pH as it turns into curd? See, pH of the fresh milk, the milk that we drink or milk that we eat, okay, day to day life, it's slightly acidic. Means that its pH is, okay, fresh milk's pH is 6. But how do you think the pH will change as it turns into curd? Means when curd formation takes place, what about its pH? natural milk is having 6 pH, but after curdling, when it is converted into curd, what happens to its pH? Explain your answer. Now they are basically asking us that how this pH value, whether it will increase or decrease. It means that whether the this acids that curd is having lactic acid, so whether this pH value will increase in the milk sample, or sorry, in the curd sample which is formed from the milk, or it will decrease. So see, pH value as it decreases, the acid becomes stronger. From 6 the pH goes to 3, then the acid that it increases its acidity. The pH value increases like above 6, that is 7, 8, 9, then it becomes basic. So here, as the curdling takes place, the acid formation takes place in the curd, and acids formed, it means that the pH value will lower. So from 6 pH will lower, so pH will get lowered, that means it will become less than 6. So fresh milk is turned into curd due to the production of lactic acid, and lactic acid reduces the pH of milk, so it will reduce the pH of the milk. Okay, so from 6 it may come 4, 3, okay, not 3, but it will come between the 4 and 5. Okay, so pH is reduced. So next question is 12th question. You can see milkman adds some small amount of baking soda to the fresh milk. See, this is actually not allowed, okay, but still people, some of the milk producers, they're adding this baking soda to fresh milk. Okay, so what may be the reason? What is the reason behind it? Baking soda add क्यों करते हैं लोग? Okay, so why does this shift pH of fresh milk from 6 to slightly alkaline? Alkaline means basic. You should know that alkaline means, from now onwards, whenever the alkaline word comes, it means basic, opposite to acid. So why does he shifts the pH of the fresh milk from 6 to slightly alkaline? Now see, milkman wants to keep milk for longer time. See, today suppose he has collected milk, and suppose 100 liter of milk he has collected, and today his sale was only 60 liter. Okay, today his sale was only 60 liter. He has purchased this milk of 100 liter milk of 30 rupees per liter. So he has sold this 60 liter milk, but still 40 liter milk is remaining. So if that milk is left for one more day, and if it is natural, so that milk will get spoiled. Okay, it will become dirty. So he can sell that remaining 40 liter milk next day. But as we know that it is a perishable item, it can become, or it can get dirty. So it can be kept for little longer period of time by increasing its preservation time. Means a fresh milk requires suppose 2 days for getting converted into curd, or this bacterial action which takes place on the milk, which converts it into curd. We know that we have seen somewhere in the previous classes that in milk there is a lactose sugar, and after some time, when it is kept for longer time, this lactose sugar is converted into lactic acid by the lactobacillus bacteria. So if this action of conversion from lactose sugar to lactic acid requires 2 days, it means that the milk can be only remain in the condition of milk for these 2 days. After 2 days, it will be no more milk, it will be curd. But milkman wants to sell milk, not the curd. So he wants that milk to remain in the milk condition for 3 days, so that he can sell that 40 liter remaining milk for one more day, so his loss will be prevented. So what he can do is, if natural milk has 6 pH, then he can increase the pH value up to like 7, up to like 7, or 8, so that it will require 2 more days to come to the pH like 3 or 4, when it becomes curd. You got it? So the milkman shifts that pH towards the alkaline side, so that when bacteria will start converting into curd, that lactobacillus bacteria, when it will start converting that milk into curd, they will require more days to convert or lower that pH. Okay, you got it? So that's the reason that the milkman shifts that pH slightly alkaline, means little towards the basic or little towards alkaline side, means it becomes 7 or 8 by after adding the baking soda to it, and then it can become, or it can remain in the good condition for longer time. So that is the reason. Now you can see here, he shifted this pH of fresh milk 6 to slightly alkaline to prevent the milk from getting sour due to production of lactic acid. You got it? So I've given you an example of practical life, so that you can connect it with. Okay. Now second question is that why does this milk take a long time to set as a curd? Now see, obviously milkman has added baking soda to it, so that it can not become sour in a 2 days, because he wants to sell it for 3 days, because the demand of the milk is not that much. So within 2 days this 100 liter milk cannot be finished, what he purchased from the farmers. So what he did, 60 liter he sold for 2 days. That time the milk was not sour, but if we keep that milk for one more day, definitely it would become sour. But now as he has added the baking soda, milk will remain in the same condition for 2 more days, because the pH of the milk is already towards the alkaline side, that is more than 6. So when bacteria will start converting this lactose sugar into lactic acid, they will require more time to convert that lactose sugar to lactic acid, because now pH of the milk is already 7 or 8. You got it? So if it would be 6 as it is in the natural milk, it would have taken only few days or only 1 day to come to the 4. But if it would be 7 or 8, it will take more time to come towards the 3 or 4. pH I am talking about. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So this milk is having already natural milk is having 6 pH, but now this is not a natural. After adding baking soda, it is not a natural milk, it is denatural, or that you can say it is adulterated milk with the baking soda. So as it is adulterated with the baking soda, it will require more time to convert into curd. You got it? So you can see the pH of this milk takes long time to set into curd, because lactic acid produced here first neutralizes the pH and then pH reduced to milk to curd. First of all, it was alkaline, then it becomes neutral, and then it becomes curd, that is lactic acid. Then after that it produces the lactic acid unit. So it takes long time to get converted into lactic acid. Now let us go to the next point, that is 13th question, that is plaster of Paris should be stored in a moisture proof container. Explain why. प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस जो है मॉइस्चर प्रूफ कंटेनर में रखना है, क्यों? नाउ सी व्हेन वी डू पीओपी एट होम, this plaster of Paris is brought at home from the market, okay, and it is suggested that keep it in cool and dry place. Keep it in dry place. Now dry place में क्यों? Because when it comes in the contact of moisture, now let me tell you, calcium sulfate dot 2H2O, this is the gypsum. If you recall, this is a gypsum. So when it loses 75% water, when it loses 75% water, that time it becomes CaSO4 dot half H2O plus 1.5 H2O is released. This is the 75% water that I am talking about. So in this process, this 75%, 1.5 water molecule is removed. That time it becomes POP. उस कंडीशन में ये क्या हो जाता है? POP हो जाता है. Now this POP has a capacity to absorb the water and again become gypsum, and gypsum is hard. So this gypsum or this calcium sulfate dihydrate, that is CaSO4 2H2O, if it is already formed in that container, suppose from market only, when you are bringing that, the POP already converted into gypsum, so it will be useless because it has already regained that water which it has lost during the processing. Okay, so I hope you are getting. So gypsum is used to make the POP. Gypsum is a natural mineral from which POP is obtained. Okay, POP has a capacity to absorb the water and setting into hard. But if it is before use only, it has become hard, then it is useless. So to keep it away from the water, so that its property will be restrained, okay, it is kept in the dry place. I hope you are getting. Okay, so you can see here, plaster of Paris should be stored in a moisture-proof container because moisture can affect plaster of Paris, slowing down the setting of the plaster of Paris because of hydration. So when it is kept in the moisture-full containers or moisture-full place, in the moisture area or in the wet area, it will absorb the water and gets hydrated, and this will turn plaster of Paris useless. Okay, so this is the reason. But you should able to explain that reaction. Which reaction? This will happen. The preparation is like this. Preparation कैसा होता है? Calcium sulfate dot 2H2O. This is your gypsum, and then it is converted into by heating. When we heat it loses 75% water and it forms calcium sulfate half H2O. This is called POP. Along with that, 1.5 H2O molecule is released. So how much it is? 75% water is this. So this is the process of preparation of plaster of Paris. So this is after preparation, kept in the small boxes and then kept in the dry place. So when this again gains 1.5 H2O, when we mix in the water, this again gains this 1.5 H2O molecule and set into hard. But that's when we require it. But if it is in the go down, and then in go down only the moisture is there and that moisture is absorbed by the POP, then in that go down only it will become useless and we can't use it. Okay, so next question is 14th question, neutralization reaction. Okay, what is neutralization reaction? And give two examples. Neutralization reaction, give two examples. Now neutralization is simple between the acids and plus base. एसिड और बेस के बीच में जो रिएक्शन होती है उसको बोलते हैं न्यूट्रलाइजेशन रिएक्शन. Where the acid neutralizes base, base neutralizes acid, because the product formed in this reaction both are neutral. That means having pH 7. Acids having pH less than 7, bases having pH more than 7. But when these two reacts, the pH becomes neutral. That means it becomes 7, and that's why it is called as neutralization reaction. Okay, which reaction? Neutralization reaction. So we can get the example. We can have an example here. Okay, see these two example. NaOH is a strong base, HCl is a strong acid. NaCl and H2, that is NaCl is a salt, water H2O is also neutral products. So this is why these two products are neutral, so it is called as neutralization reaction. Magnesium hydroxide is a base, H2CO3 is a acid. So this is weak base, this is weak acid. So the product form is still neutral. Okay, MgCO3 is a salt, that is salt means the product of neutralization reaction, and the H2 is again neutral. So this is how we can explain that. Then next question is 15th question, probably this is the last question of this exercise of second chapter. Give two important uses of the washing soda and baking soda. See, washing soda and baking soda, it's a very simple thing. Washing soda is used as an electrolyte. Washing soda, Na2CO3 is used as an electrolyte. Electrolyte means in the cell to conduct the current. Okay, it can carry the current through it. Means electrolyte, it means that the solution that conducts electricity. Now baking soda, NaHCO3, the formula is NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate. This is sodium carbonate, this is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Now it can be used to test the garden soil for acidity. If bubbles are developed, then the soil is too acidic. It can be used to test the garden soil for acidity. Suppose the soil has become acidic, okay, so that acidic soil can be treated by adding the baking soda. Now see, baking soda is carbonate, metal carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate मतलब ये metal carbonate है. This is Na is metal and this is carbonate. So metal का carbonate है. So when carbonates reacts with acids, now let me give an example of the reaction. When metal carbonates plus acid, कोई भी मेटल कार्बोनेट जब हम एसिड डालते हैं तो एक गैस निकलती है जिसको हम बोलते हैं कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. कौन सी गैस निकलती है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. So when you want to taste the acidity of the soil, if you want to use or taste the acidity of the soil, you have to add this baking soda in the sample of soil. अगर soil के अंदर acid है तो bubbles दिखेंगे आपको. क्या दिखेंगे? Bubbles. अब bubbles क्यों दिखेंगे? Because if that soil has acid, then we know the property of acids. When acids reacts with the metal carbonates, they form the carbon dioxide gas, which can be seen in the form of bubbles. So if as a soil is not having acid in it, there will be no bubbles. So you can say that the soil is acidic or not. So for the testing of the soil, baking soda can be used. I hope it's clear. Second point is, it can be used domestically for water softener for laundry. Water softener for laundry means, see, generally for the cleaning purpose, okay, it can be used. Washing soda is generally used, okay, domestically at home. Laundry means for washing purpose, this is best ingredient, okay. Here the second use of baking soda is, it is used on washing car, then it will remove dead bug bodies without damaging the color of the paint of the car. See, after washing, when we wash the car in the garages, okay, it is used, okay. So what it does, it removes the dead bugs bodies without damaging the color or the paint of the car. See, suppose if you directly apply the acid on the car's body, it will damage the color also, and it will damage the body of the car also, because acids are corrosive. So baking soda removes these dead bugs bodies, okay. So small dust particles which are there, okay, that can be removed by it, okay, without harming the body or the parts of the car. So these are the uses of this washing soda and baking soda. Okay, so that's all for today. Now see, this is the 15th question, that is last question of your exercise. I want this exercise to be written in the textbook, sorry, in the notebooks, and immediately the deadline of submission of this exercise is, today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow after 3, at 3, I want this exercise to be submitted to me on my WhatsApp number. Write in your notebook, click the photographs and post me the WhatsApp number. Okay, then only I will take another class. That's all.